Welcome back, my investy besties. So on today's video, I'm going to be doing our second video in our home buying series and basically just telling you guys some tips and tricks on how to get your offer accepted in this crazy seller's market and some of the things that my husband and myself did to get our offer accepted and to close on a property. So in this video, I'm going to be talking all about how to get your offer accepted. Now, this is not, what's right or wrong in terms of FHA or conventional down payment or no down payment. This is just really sharing with you guys what's going on in the trenches from ourselves who actually have been there, who are going through it right now. And so this is no hypotheticals. This is just what is going on out there. And I'm really hoping that this will give you guys some insight into how to navigate this market. But before I get into the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so that we can get more people access to this type of information and to expose more people to the FIRE movement, which is financial independence, retire early. And one of the reasons why my husband and myself is pursuing rental properties is because when we do reach our retirement age, which is 45, I'm currently 36, so that's 9 years. We need to have some money to live off of because we can't withdraw from our retirement or Social Security. So one of our strategies is to have rental properties and to have that income to live off of. And so this is the whole strategy behind what we're doing on this channel. So I really hope that inspires you to get started as well if you want. Or if you just want to have some idea of how to navigate, if you want to buy your primary home, maybe you're a first-time home buyer. So again, this information is useful in all areas. So let's get into the details. How to get your offer accepted. Now, I do have a little paper here, a little cheat sheet that I wrote some notes down because I really wanted to make sure I give you guys accurate information. And I promise this video won't be too long. So let's get right into the details. So the first way that you can get your offer accepted in this hot seller's market is the loan type. Now, I'll tell you guys, when we got our first home about 11 years ago, when we first bought our first property, we had an FHA loan. And back then, that was a seller's market. And so we had that in our favor. And this type of market now, again, people are not supposed to discriminate against, certain things like that. But the fact of the matter is, agents are informing their sellers or their clients of the best possible deal. And in this market, because FHA have some extra loopholes that sellers have to go through, for example, you have to have, a FHA approved inspector. So that means they're going to be looking at extra things in the house that normally, if you had a conventional type of mortgage or loan, you wouldn't really have much attention to pay to. So like, for example, you have to have banisters, or it has to be secured properly, and it has to be a certain length. And same with, flooring and walls. They really make sellers go through a lot of extra loopholes. And in this market, sellers don't really have to, because people are buying homes sight unseen. People are buying homes with cash. People are waiving contingencies. So they don't have to go through all that. So any seller would say, you know what, we already know what FHA is going to go through. And another thing about FHA is that they require the buyer, if they don't really have to have any earnest deposit. And if they're not happy with the inspection report or results, they can walk away from that transaction with their money back. And again, that's another thing that sellers are looking at, thinking, you know what, if I don't have to go through all of this, then why would I? And remember, guys, you don't want to think of this as too much of an emotional thing, though it is emotional in a sense, because this is your home, this is your hard-earned money, your time, you're connected to it, you've been waiting, but you also really have to view this as a business transaction, because that's what it is. Even if it's your primary home, even if it's your first home, you have to really think strategically here, especially in this type of market. So my suggestion, and what we did, was we could have gone with the FHA, put 3.5% down. But because we knew the sellers were not going, that was like at the bottom of the pile. And when you have the inventory of homes, small, and the amount of buyers great, we have to really come to the table in the best position possible. And so we decided not to go with FHA. We decided to go with conventional. Well, with conventional, and you're buying an investment property, a rental property, you have to put 20% down, which is a lot of money. But again, the lenders are getting stricter because, they want to make sure that they are protected. And so we had to put 20% down. Now, if we were buying our primary home, we could have put 3% down or 5% down. But again, because we were buying an investment property, we had to put 20% down. But I know people who have gone through this process with the conventional, putting down 3.5%, and their offer was accepted over someone who had an FHA that was putting down 3.5%, because again, sellers don't have to go through as many loopholes. But you know what? You have to do what's best for you, because sometimes you can't go the conventional route. But if you are going to stay with the FHA route, try to make your offer as strong as possible. So try to put something down, even if you don't have to. If you are in a program, again, try to make your offer as strong as possible, because again, sellers are looking at the whole entire picture. That leads me to the second thing that you can do to get your home offer accepted in this hot market, and that's contingencies. Now, contingencies are really hot button right now because it's about how hot your market is. So we know the overall housing market is hot, but in some areas of the country, it's like extremely on fire. So you're talking about Portland, Seattle, and Florida, California, Texas. So you have some parts of the United States where the market is like extra, extra hot. And this is where having a contingency strategy will help you get your offer accepted. So with us, we had an inspection contingency, but we did not have an appraisal contingency. So that means if the house did not appraise for what we agreed on in terms of the price, then my husband and myself would cover the difference. Now, normally would anyone suggest you do that? No, but again, it's about knowing the type of market you're in. Now, some people are waiving inspections, some people are waiving appraisals. They are buying the house just by looking at the pictures or a video of the house. And so again, you have to do what's comfortable with you guys. I will say that if you decide to waive your inspection, still get the home inspected. One thing that I will tell you that has helped is a lot of inspectors and contractors are renting themselves out for the day. So for example, a lot of people have been bringing, it's like they'll hire an inspector. They may charge $100 an hour, and they will come with you for about 3 or 4 hours. So you pay them, and you have all of the listings of the houses you're going to see that day with your agent, and they will come with you. So let's say you don't have the inspection contingency, you can still bring them with you as you're looking for homes, and they, because they're working for you now, can say, okay, well, this, you can get away with. You have a couple years left for this. This you may want to have to replace sooner rather than later, and that's going to be around $500. And the great thing is that a lot of these inspectors or contractors have relationships with other people that can fix it for you or give you a discount. So again, guys, think about going that route. Hire an inspector for the day. When I say for the day, like a couple hours, they may charge $75, $100. But if you know people are waiving inspection contingencies, that may work in your favor. Just allot some money aside, like $400. Hire an inspector. Tell your agent you want to see as many houses as you can see in one day. Bring the inspector with you because you're hiring them. And as you go through each house, take your pen and paper, maybe a tablet, and write all the notes down and just have them go through. Because honestly, you'll be surprised at some things that can wait, some things that need to be done right away, and you can have a cost basis so you know exactly what you're working with. That's something that really worked in our favor. We knew how much things were going to be. We knew whether my husband can go ahead and fix it or we would have to hire someone else to fix it. And again, guys, or let's say you have a family member, a father, a husband, an uncle, a cousin who are really good with fixing things. Ask them to come along with you. So that way, if you do waive the inspection, you feel more confident because you have somebody who's knowledgeable in all things house fixing. Okay. So that's just another tip. The third thing is be really, really flexible if you can. Some sellers want to close quick. Some sellers need some extra time because they are trying to find another property. So flexibility worked for us as well because we told the sellers because they needed to close fast because they were under contract for another property. So we said we're flexible. If you need to close in 30 days, if you need to close in 60 days, because we weren't moving into the property, that worked in our favor. But let's say you are a first-time home buyer, you can be flexible and tell the seller, you know what, I'm flexible. If you need more time, this is also where rent backs come in. Rent backs are basically after you close, the seller will still stay in the house, but they will pay you rent each day that they're in the house. So we agreed on $50 a day because they need to pack up, and clean up some things and all of that before, we can take full possession of the property. This is after closing. So again, have that written into your contract. have an addendum for that, and your agent will be able to help you with all of that. But that's another way that you can get your offer accepted. Also, write letters. I've been hearing more and more how that's been working. There's a lot of sellers who really love the house that they're selling. They love the community, they love the neighbors, they love the schools, and they really want to pass that home on to another family or person or persons that will treat it the same way. So write a heartfelt letter, submit it with your application, make it personable, try to point out some things in the neighborhood or the schools if you have children. If you go through their house and you notice like little children things, or let's say they have their degrees up on the wall and you went to the same school, or just different things like that, point those things out in your letters, because you can really tug on their heartstrings, and that has been known to work in this market. Just another strategy to get your offer accepted. Another thing that you can do is, and this is kind of interesting, is speed. So speed is really important. As soon as homes go on the market, you have to like jump on it if you're interested. Now, I'm not saying go to every house that comes on the market, but what we did was when a home would come on the market, we looked at the pictures backwards. So we didn't look at the front of the house because it's all beautiful and the living room and dining room. We went backwards. We wanted to know what the backyard looked like. We wanted to know what the basement looked like. We wanted to know, what the attic looked like. Working from the back, because once we saw that, we knew the pictures would get better as we were going through, to the first shot. Also, you are going to become an unofficial realtor yourself. So you need to have accounts with Zillow and Realtor.com, Redfin, any of the sites. You need to make, an account, have the app, set your alerts up so that, because we've been noticing the houses have been hitting like your Zillows and your Redfins faster than the MLS. And then you got to keep in mind your agent is still working for other people. So they might not be able to get that information over to you as quick when it hits the MLS versus like Redfin or something where you can see it right away and you can make an appointment to go see the house right away. So that's another thing, is speed is so important. And when you go to view these houses, guys, you should know within the first 10 to 15 minutes that you set your foot on that property, whether you want to put an offer in or not. That way you can tell the agent, and the agent can get the home office to start working on that offer for you, so that that evening you can submit the offer to the seller. Okay, that's really, really, really important. That's something that had helped us a lot. Try to see homes in the morning if you can. I know a lot of people work, but the one thing that we did, and let's go back to being flexible, is that my husband was able to take certain calls in the car. So if a house came on the market at like 10 o'clock in the morning, we were able to go see that house at 11 o'clock because he was able to kind of step away. So if you can, and you have that flexibility to do that, I would suggest that you do that. Also, keep in mind that lenders are starting to get tighter with their lending. So making sure that you don't open up any extra credit, that you don't incur any extra debts, making sure you don't spend the money that you had told the bank you had for the closing costs and the down payment. This is another tip, is that if you can put 20% down, I know it's a lot of money, but the more money that you can put down, the more it shows the seller that you are serious. You got to have some skin in the game, okay? You got to think strategically in terms of this market. And also, and this is just asterisk for us in terms of what had helped us, and that was prayer. I know a lot of people may not believe in it, but this market will really make you find Jesus quick, because it's people are in bidding wars out here. There are open houses where you see people in lines waiting to get into the house with their agents. There are agents that are waiting in lines for their buyers so that they can get into the house because it's so much interest. That's how bad the inventory is right now. And you can say it's because of the lumber or, supplies or whatever the case is. The fact of the matter is, because you can't time the market, we talk about this with trading and stocks, you can't time anything. If you could, everybody would be billionaires, right? But because you can't time the market, the best thing that you could do is to be strategic and do the best you can with where you are. And this type of market is a seller's market. So I hope that some of these tips that I talked about in this video will help you guys. Leave me a comment down below. Are you looking for a home? Did some of these tips help you? Did you already know about some of these things? Leave them down below. I love talking with you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I really hope that you guys enjoy it. Again, guys, share this video with a friend. And until next time, I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.